Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor, in the studio with Tom Santinella. What's going on, Tommy, the machine guns?
What's going on?
Tom, I'm excited about this show. We're talking studs and sucks. You are in to cover for Tim, the bald guy. He couldn't make it today, but what's that?
I said, my pleasure.
Yeah, man. Never a full replacement. You are the real deal, Tom. Don't tell Tim I said that. So today we're talking studs and sucks, Tom. So we're going to go through every position and go through the guys that crapped the bed and the guys that did really well. And at the end, we're going to honor somebody with the suck of the week at each position. We saved the sucks of the week till the end, and we also saved the running backs in. And because, Tom, those are the most exciting things. The running back. Everybody wants to talk running back. So what do you think of this Sunday? Now, there's 2 games tonight, which I'm excited about.
Yeah.
Not include. But what did you think of this weekend? It's pretty wild.
High scoring again. Some wild games again. It was crazy. A lot of high scoring. Some good football. Not too many surprises in my mind, but a little disappointed. The Texans started off 0-4. Rams, I thought, would win a little bigger. Nick Foles, his usual plop when he starts. Josh Allen came through again against a mediocre team in the Raiders. But, it was a good week so far. I'm really anxious to tonight. I don't think Cam Newton's playing. I think we got, Jarrett Stidham. So
no, I think the other guy's starting. I think Hoyer is starting.
Is he?
Yeah, that's what I heard. I could be wrong, but that's what I've been hearing. So I think Hoyer is the guy.
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. So I don't know if Stidham is the guy. I think it's going to be Hoyer. But either way, this matchup is going to be exciting either way. But the Chiefs should take this. I don't know. What's the spread at right now?
I think they went with Hoyer.
Yeah, so 11 points.
11 points, yeah. It went up to
Chiefs.
1.5 this morning. I know that.
And the Falcons must win. They can't go 0-4. I mean, they got to start utilizing Gurley. They got to start utilizing the offense. Now, I heard Julio Jones and Ridley are in, and I heard Devontae Adams is out for that game. So a lot of inactives. And I got to tell you, Tom, this has been a crazy year. A lot of injuries, inactives. We saw O.J. Howard go down this week as well. We saw Austin Eckler, Nick Chubb go down as well. Not to mention all the guys that were out this week, including Michael Thomas, CMC, Saquon Barkley, and the list goes on and on and on and on. It's been crazy. So, just injuries galore, man, everywhere.
It's good to see a guy like George Kittle come back last night and really tear it up. But, Nick Chubb go down. Eckler went down. You had a few other guys go down as well. Hit another torn Achilles, I think, somewhere in there too. But, but the Falcons defense stinks. The Packers are should throw all over them.
Yeah.
But, this is a game it's a must win for the Falcons. Must win, but
there's no Devontae Adams, so that could help them a little bit. So
Lazard either.
What's that?
Lazard either.
I know. His 2 top weapons at receiver are gone. So this gives Atlanta the edge here a little bit, hopefully, if you're looking at offense. So let's start with the quarterbacks here, Tom, the studs and sucks. So let's go over the studs first. Then we'll go over some sucks, and then we're going to go to the other positions. But at the end, we're going to come back and honor somebody with the suck of the week at each position. And you're going to go and I'm going to go. It's going to be exciting. All right, so Dak Prescott tearing it up. He's consistent, man. He's consistently producing. Tom Brady, Teddy Bridgewater, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold making top 6 amongst quarterbacks this week in fantasy points. I can't believe it. Kyler Murray had a good game as well. Justin Herbert having a good game. Stafford, and believe it or not, Carson Wentz. And I believe they won. I can't believe this, Tom.
It was all Carson Wentz last night. I mean, he took over that game with, he ran the ball. He did some things. It was impressive watching him play. They have no line. He's done a lot with nothing. He has no weapons, very minimal weapons, and no receivers really, and no line. And you got to give him credit. He gutted it out.
Yeah. Now looking at these studs here, man, I got to say, MVP considerations here for Josh Allen. Josh Allen's has been consistent as they come. 2 touchdowns, but again, getting it done everywhere across the field. 288 yards. I love Josh Allen, and that rushing touchdown did inflate his numbers, but Josh Allen has been consistent. He's been solid. I like the Diggs connection. Him and Diggs have been connecting consistently. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Josh Allen and the 4-0 Buffalo Bills, man. It's phenomenal.
Well, it's a much different, points coming up from Josh Allen than a Dak Prescott. Prescott, Dallas has no defense. They're always behind. They're not running the ball. So, you get a guy like Dak Prescott. He also has one of the top offensive lines in the game, the top running back, one of the top receiving cores in the game. So, Dak Prescott, it's probably going to continue to put numbers up because they're not running the ball and their defense stinks. So he's putting numbers up. Prescott. He is, but I mean, they're not winning, but that doesn't matter if you got him at you know, as your starting quarterback here.
Right. Teddy Bridgewater, I had him started one league. He absolutely tore it up as well. He did throw an interception, but the 2 touchdowns and the 276 yards definitely helped. And of course, the rushing touchdown helping all of these quarterbacks. Now, if you look, Teddy Bridgewater finished 4th amongst quarterbacks. Teddy Bridgewater 3rd, Allen 4th, Lamar Jackson 5th, and Sam Darnold 6th amongst quarterbacks in week 4. All of them with a rushing touchdown, which helped inflate their numbers. So good on them and good for their fantasy owners who benefited from those rushing touchdowns.
Well, yeah, and the rushing yards, Kyla Murray only 133 passing yards, and they lost to Carolina. He didn't really play that well, I don't think. But he had 78 rushing yards, which helped get his numbers up too. Even though
he had 3, he did okay. 3 touchdowns.
He was efficient with what he threw, but they're back down to earth, 2-2 Arizona.
Where they deserve to be. And we're going to talk about Kenyon Drake, man.
How he inflated Justin Herbert. He had 2 big plays that were almost half his passing yards. Right. He had the 70-something yard touchdown and the 52-yard touchdown. They were in it because of the big plays. But you got to give the guy credit. He's throwing the ball. He's almost at 300 every week. So, it is what it is over there.
Yeah, and like I said, Kenyon Drake, we're going to talk about those Arizona Cardinals soon. He's probably the biggest bust. We'll talk about that. Guys that crap the bed here, Tom. Now, again, with quarterbacks, what you see is what you get, but there were some people that were kind of average. Phillip Rivers, 11.2, but not huge expectations out of him.
Oh.
What's that?
No, you're right. No expectations there.
Kirk Cousins, 14.9 points. Daniel Jones, a lot of people were high on him this season, except for the counselor. He's been crap in the bed. That O-line is just terrible. Didn't throw a touchdown, but had an interception. 10 points for him. Man, just looking terrible, man.
I'm disappointed in Deshaun Watson. $40 million a year, considers himself elite. Heard the press conference after the games, didn't seem to care too much. I don't know. I know he's missing his go-to guy, but for $40 million a year, you better be, he's playing average.
Speaking of not caring too much, hold on. What happened in this press conference? He just like whatever kind of thing?
He's just like, I'm not worried. We're 0-4. Yeah, I'm not worried. I'm still happy. I'm still smiling, stuff like that.
He got paid, right?
See an elite quarterback say, I want him to get up there and say, listen, I'm going to fix this. We're going to, like J.J. Watt sounded good after the game. He's like, I'm going to see what we can do to fix this. He was pissed. He just didn't seem like, I don't know. He just doesn't, for me, and I've talked to some, he just not playing to the level of the paycheck.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And another guy, we got to talk about this. I know it's basketball, but let's talk about LeBron James walking off the court 10 seconds before the game's over. That, I don't know, man. I think that's disrespectful. I think that's I'm not one of those guys, I'm offended by it. It's not even about that. It's just about you are supposed to be a team leader. You're supposed to be the man. You're supposed to be the GOAT, apparently. You don't walk off the court 10 seconds left. I mean, it's poor sportsmanship from a guy that is supposed to be a leader. You never see Jordan and Kobe do that, right? And a lot of people losing respect for him just for that move. And I've seen him before in games where they're down and he's just like, I'm just going to sit down for the rest of the game. You got to play it out. You just got to gut it out. And he doesn't gut it out, man.
No, he's a different kind of player than them, though. I mean, I don't know. I thought they'd blow them out again last night, but the Heat are tough. They're resilient. They're feisty. And he's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say in regards to that. He walked off with a little bit of time left, and he was frustrated. He even said it after the game. He was frustrated. No, it's not the way you should do it.
No, not at all. All right, let's move on here to the. So who did I miss here that could have that's Jared Goff sucked?
Disappointment.
Always.
Yeah, he's kind of like went to that level, I would say, right now, right?
Yep.
You don't expect much from Joe Burrow's doing what he does. Baker Mayfield, I mean, he played efficient. They won. Kirk Cousins, another bad week, even though he got the W. Nick Foles, I didn't expect much. Jared Goff, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I expected more from him. I expected a little bit bigger of a win against the Giants.
Yeah. Leave a comment, guys, below on who you think is a suck of the week as we're going through this. So quarterback, want to hear everybody's opinion on quarterback in the comments. And of course, smash thumbs up. It really helps the channel. But I'd like to hear, guys, below what you guys are thinking. Okay. Let's move on here to the wide receiver position. I can't believe this, man, but it's about time. It took 4 years to get here. Odell Beckham having the game of his life. And he hasn't had a game like this since, I don't know, maybe 2016, maybe. I don't know. It's been that long. Like, unbelievable game. Finally, I mean, this is what the Browns paid for. This is why they said, hey, we're going to bring Odell in. this is what they expected out of him, is this type of performance, but I'm not expecting this every week. This is an anomaly game for Odell. What are your thoughts on him, man?
Well, that reverse or run at the whatever 50-plus yard run he had at the end was phenomenal, and that was all him. I mean, he tackled, I think, in the backfield or something, but he showed up, he played, and I don't want to say they try to force him the ball sometimes, but they have a lot of weapons on this team. Unfortunately, Chubb went out, and they plugged Johnson. I think it was Ernest Johnson in there and into his spot, and they didn't miss a beat. They played well. I told you he's still going to put up 1,200 yards a year. It's just people want 1,500 a year from him. That's the difference.
Yeah, your man Chubb went down, and that was a fluke. I don't know who was it. It was one of his own guys, or it looked like he rolled.
Oh, the guy from the Cowboys that got Carson last week. That same friggin' idiot. That he got fined for that hit last week against the Cowboys, but I think it was the same. I think it was the same guy. That sucks. Chubb was going to have a big day too, but you see what they did. They did not give Hunt Chubb's carries. What they did was they plugged Chubb's backup into where Chubb was, and Hunt assumed his same role. Hunt has a role on that team. He gets a certain number of touches, running the ball, catching the ball. They didn't increase his load this week, yesterday. What they did was they plugged in Chubb's backup and gave him Chubb's rush attempts. So it'd be interesting to see moving forward if that's how they're going to do it. Give Ernest Johnson Chubb's work.
Right.
Or if they're going to give Kareem Hunt a little bit more responsibility, because they didn't yesterday.
Right. Well, we'll talk about running backs in a bit, but let me see here. I'm starting to look at the snap count here, the attempts. But yeah, they gave it to Ernest Johnson. He had 13 attempts. He actually had more than Hunt, correct. Yeah. They also brought in Dontrell Hilliard for 5 attempts as well. He got 19 yards. But yeah, this Johnson guy, man, he did all right for what he
drafted kid, I think, out of USF. Yeah. So that was good. But back to the receivers. I mean, listen, the Browns, Odell, you had a few other good guys underneath him. Amari Cooper. Dallas is just, 500 yards passing. You're going to have a couple, that top 10. So how do we said it before. CD Lamb, Cooper, but there's a lot of balls to go around, but they're throwing for 400 or 500 yards a week.
Yeah, you're passing your guy Chark here. Yeah, who's third amongst wide receivers PPR. Adam Thielen, good game. And he didn't finish in the top 10 here. Where did he finish, this guy? The wide receiver too there that I've gotten, Justin Jefferson. He is looking really, really good, man. He finished 26th amongst wide receivers, 3.3 points. But man, is he looking good.
Well, he didn't have a touchdown, but I think he had 100 yards. So yeah, he's starting to pick up. Those rookies are tough. Some get it earlier, some later, but he's picking up. You're right. You're right. He's picking up. The other guy I want to point out that I liked, I told you Brady to Mike Evans. That was going to be real. And Godwin's out. I know that helps it, but I've liked Mike Evans from the beginning. He looks healthier now. I think, they just lost one of their tight ends, but so keep an eye. I like Mike Evans moving forward.
Yeah, I finished 5th, tied for 5th in PPR points so far. And again, it's going to change a little bit, guys, because again, there's 2 games tonight. So maybe Julio Ridley or one of these guys goes off, has a good week and slides in here. But again, we're talking about the studs and sucks from Sunday. Tim Patrick finished 7th in fantasy points amongst wide receivers here out of Denver. Someone's got to step up without Cortland Sutton there, right?
I guess so. And it also matters, who the quarterback is. They had that 3rd string quarterback play last week. Drew Lock should be coming back in a week or two. That's what they said, but would they ever give Blake Bortles a start? I don't know.
Right.
Ripping through 3 picks. He didn't look that good, but he looked, he's a 3rd string guy. So
yeah. He did what he had to do, is plug and play.
It was the Jets, but they won. And Allen Robinson, I'm not super high on him all the time, but he proves me wrong. A lot of those points came on the last drive, but when they marched it down the field to score that touchdown and they hit the 2-point conversion at the end. But I don't know. There's a mess there in Chicago.
I'm getting frustrated, Tom. We'll talk about the running back situation. Everybody's going by committee now. It's weird. Like, you don't have your workhorse running backs. Even with wide receiver, there's so much uncertainty, right? There's just so many wide receivers. So many, like, for example, with the Cowboys, who do you start? You got to start Cooper, but last week, Cedric Wilson went off. Now we have CD Lamb and Amari Cooper in the top 10. So it's so volatile with wide receivers, right? Like, it's crazy.
Well, you have to start Cooper over there as the one. He got the volume last week too. I don't think he had a touchdown last week, but like I said, in Tampa, now you can at least, Mike Evans, he's starting to build that there's a lot of options there. Some of these teams, have options. And they don't have like in Houston, Will Fuller, is he deserving? Like he finished number 9. They don't have many options there, but they don't have a lot of guys that suck. Like I'm saying football wise. So like, you don't know who he's going to go to next week either. Is he going to keep going back to Fuller? Your guy in Carolina, Robbie Anderson, nothing special, but he's proving to be a little bit more of a favorite target than
DJ Moore.
Yeah. So
I talked about that.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know you've liked Robbie Anderson. I know you love him.
Yeah.
You love the guy.
Got him for free in my fantasy drafts. Got him for pretty much free.
See, that's what people don't understand. It's not like you say, Robbie Anderson over Mike Thomas or something. Robbie Anderson late in the draft is obviously a very good pick.
Right. Finished 15th so far this week. And again, this is before the Monday night games. But again, I'm not right on 100% of the things. Like so far, I've been wrong about a lot of things, like Barkley getting injured. But I mean,
but you can't count injuries. People always say that you can't count injuries.
Somewhat. I always think.
Hold on, unless the guy has a lot of injury history, that's when you can say you're wrong. You know what I mean? Like a guy that's always hurt. Why would you count? You can't count on him.
Like Dalvin Cook's bound to go down soon. I know he will. He's been on fire. He's due. Like a guy like that you can foresee, but I didn't see Saquon Barkley. I didn't really see CMC. Another guy that I'm wrong about is David Johnson so far, but that offense is terrible. But there's so much more I'm right about, and that's the thing. A lot of people focus on what I'm wrong about versus what I'm right. Example, Kenyon Drake, absolute bust. I mean, just crap in the bed. Second, and the thing is, I was getting David Johnson round 3 and 4, whereas Drake was a late first round, early second round pick, right? Drake busted. Who else is there? Michael Thomas has been out. I said, I can't predict injuries, but I said there would be a decline with him. He had such an amazing year, 185 targets, 149 receptions. That won't happen, so I dodged that bullet for you guys. There's a lot of bullets. Le'Veon Bell has been non-existent. Nick Chubb now getting hurt. I kind of dodged that bullet. I don't know how long he'll be out. I mean, you got to kind of factor in a little bit injuries, but yeah, more towards injuries that you can kind of foresee. And I didn't see a Nick Chubb injury. I kind of just saw more of a Kareem Hunt volume, but statistically, Kareem Hunt does dip into at least half of Chubb's stuff. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out with injuries. And I mean, Eckler, another guy hurt, right? So, and the thing with him is not that I foresaw an injury, Tom. It's the fact that he's never been a workhorse running back. And they're trying to give him that load. I'm like, listen, this guy's always been a backup for a reason. And now he comes in, gets hurt. But
not even a backup. Like Kamara's never had the full load of 20, 25 carries a game. They probably don't. I don't know if they think he can handle it. He started the game off on fire yesterday, and then that was it. But that's the thing. If a guy's not a workhorse back and hasn't done it, some of the teams may not think he can withstand it for 4 quarters. And that's the problem that you see, right?
Another guy I was wrong about, which we'll talk about in a second. Let's go to the Bucs at wide receiver, though.
But you said David Johnson. Let me say one thing. Listen, the Texans probably had the most difficult schedule for the first 4 games of the season than any other team in the NFL, okay? So it's obviously a 16-game season. I know fantasy's probably a little less than that, right, before the playoffs, like 12 games or whatever. But it's only 4 games into the season, and David Johnson hasn't played bad. They just haven't gotten him involved enough.
No, they're not.
And their offensive coordinator is terrible. He got demoted last week. Tim Kelly, guy was a former D tackle. He's throughout the league. He's not respected in that position. Bill O'Brien took over the duty. He's the GM. He's the OC. He's the head coach. It's just going terrible down there in Houston. Deshaun Watson's not playing up to his potential or what they thought he could play up to. David Johnson is not playing poorly. He's just not involved in the offense enough. Okay. Right. And they had the toughest schedule of the first 3 weeks, definitely, possibly 4 weeks of the season. So keep that in mind. I wouldn't give up on him just yet.
Yeah, I agree. Steelers and Baltimore are no easy feat for sure. All right. So a couple other guys. And yeah, he's not getting involved at all, man. I saw Duke Johnson out there. Yeah. Anyway, let's go some sucks of the week at wide receiver. Michael Gallup, 4.9 points. T.Y. Hilton. It's like Phillip Rivers doesn't even know T.Y. Hilton exists. It's absolutely insane. He's going to Pascal. Like, who the hell is Pascal?
I don't think I told you this before the last 2 or 3 weeks. I don't think T.Y. Hilton has it anymore.
I don't think he's getting the targets, though.
Like, I don't think he's good enough to get those targets anymore. I think he lost a step.
I don't know.
I did too. You're right. I agree with you on Rivers.
I don't think Rivers likes him. I really think there's something going on there. I really don't think he likes him.
Maybe.
Like, seriously, if you look at the target count, I'm pulling it up here. Zac Pascal, 8 targets to T.Y. Hilton's 5. And he's going a lot. And I saw him look a lot towards Trey Burton. Trey Burton was getting a lot of looks. He had 5 targets, 2 receptions, but he kept looking his way a lot because I watched that game yesterday. So right. I don't know. We're going to have to see if it can, T.Y. Hilton as of right now is definitely a bench guy. He's just not worth starting. And watch, you put him on the bench, he's going to have a breakout game. It's insane, man. Other guys that crapped the bed, DeAndre Hopkins, 11 points, even though Kyler had a decent game. Hopkins, 11 points. He sucked this week. Robert Woods, expecting a bigger game out of him against the Giants. He crapped the bed. Who else crapped the bed here at wide receiver? Again, I think Hilton's the big one. Again, Hopkins.
Gerald, but I don't expect anything out of him.
Yeah, no one's expecting it out of him. But I think everybody performed. I think wide receivers perform to where they should be. I really think they did okay this week.
I expected a little bit better from him. Preston Williams only had 4 points, but he's not getting involved. I mean, Ryan Fitzpatrick's terrible.
AJ Green.
Yeah, but we know that. Like, that's been like a year-long bust for me. Like, that's just like suck of the year.
Yeah, but people were drafting him as a wide receiver one. The mainstream sheeps were promoting him. I'm like, yeah, stay away from that guy. He's been on a decline for years. So yeah, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, even Darius Slayton, since that was that week 1 or was that week 2?
Yeah, I think it was week 1.
Yeah, we haven't seen, you see those guys that have those weeks and then they disappear. But, DJ Moore, another one.
Yeah.
Robert Woods, DJ Moore, those type of guys, they're just not producing.
Not at all. Let's move on to tight end here. The studs here at tight end. George Kittle, Mark Andrews, Dalton Schultz coming back, having a good game. Darren Waller coming back, bouncing back, but only 15.8 points. Nothing to get excited about. Austin Hooper had a good game, but that was very touchdown predicated. OJ Howard is out, but he had that big touchdown catch there. TJ Hawkinson, he had a really good matchup versus position. I stated that in the Starts and Sits show. Had a decent game, 10.9 points. But again, these tight ends aren't putting up monster numbers.
Oh.
But, I mean, Kittle, we expected that, but 40 points, that's huge. But I mean, who else are they going to throw to there? He's the guy.
Well, you see the problem. Debo was back. Ayuk was there, but those guys get a couple good plays here and there, some trick plays, some this, some that, screens, reverses, but they don't have that go-to guy. I told you that before. They don't have a go-to wide receiver that, except for him, that they can just, count on. So
yeah, it's interesting how they run that offense. It's so versatile. I mean, they're using Kittle as a running back. They're using Deebo Samuel as a running back. They're doing all these unique plays. Like they're almost too cute with their stuff. But I guess it worked against. It kind of works most of the time. Not so much last night.
Yeah, it's just sooner or later, I think they need a receiver that's more of a possession guy. Besides Kittle, because those good defensive teams will probably double and triple him eventually, especially if there's another injury on the outside. But yeah, you have to give credit to Kittle. I mean, head and shoulders. Guys is respectable for sure.
Guys that sucked. I mean, Gesicki, he had a good game, I think a week or two ago. He crapped the bed this week. Who else really sucked here? I'm just trying to see some names.
Higbee didn't do anything.
Yeah, Higbee had that huge game a week or two ago. Jimmy Graham had a huge week last week. He crapped the bed. I mean, just mediocrity here at the tight end position. Nothing to talk about, nothing to get too excited about.
No, nothing. Hunter Henry. You got a lot of guys getting paid, not producing, at the tight end position.
All right, let's move on to the running back position. Again, guys, stay to the end because, again, we're going to pick and honor a bust of the week at each position. And, of course, in the comments, it's very, very important you guys leave who you guys think is the suck of the week at each position as well. All right, so let's go here. I mean, Joe Mixon, finally, 42 points. I don't know. Is this going to continue with Mixon? I don't see it.
No, but I think he's getting comfortable, and I think he had a good matchup. Comfortable in that offense with Burrow, and I think for them to win ball games, they're gonna have to run the ball well a little bit more rather than I think Burrow had 60 attempts last couple weeks ago, but he's a good running back. He's gonna end up with 1,100 yards this year probably.
Right.
So I don't think it's going to continue where he gets 42 points a week, right? Yeah. But he's good. He's good. He's a good running back. Is he special and elite? No. But he's good. He'll have some weeks like this, a few of them. And then he'll have some others where he gets 50 yards and no touchdowns.
I know. I got to give credit where it's due here. Dalvin Cook, a huge game, 27 attempts. But what I've noticed with him in the past 2 games is it almost looks like he's done for the season. Like there's one injury in week 3, got clipped near the ankle. and looks like he was pretty much toast. And then he came back, and then last week he got shaken up pretty bad, hobbled off the field. I mean, how much can this guy take? I mean, he's an injury-prone guy. He's going to have 4, 5, 6 good weeks, but I mean, I don't see him finishing the season.
I mean, they needed him. For them to succeed, he needs to play well. That's what their offense is based on. And that's what Kirk Cousins is based on too. Succeed on Dalvin Cook. And the Texans defense stinks. So keep them in mind. Whoever, I think they're playing Jacksonville next week. The Texans defense stinks. The Jets defense stinks. Look what Melvin Corden, who's an average running back, did.
I know, 25 points, finishing third amongst running backs. But man, I don't know if that's going to continue. Chris Carson, another guy, man, he's on his last legs. He went out with.
Yeah, but I love it. Came back from the injury, put up 25 points. You got to respect that.
You do. Antonio Gibson has a breakout game here. Finally had a good game with Washington against Baltimore. I'm like, wow, Antonio Gibson, what's going on there?
He's looking like that touches guy, like Kamara, like Kareem Hunt. He got 13 for 46, 4 for 82 receiving. He looks like that's the kind of running back he's going to be.
Yeah. Jerick McKinnon had a good game. That could be a weekly thing. I don't believe it. This is interesting. Mike Davis, back-to-back weeks with 22 points this week and then 23 last week. This is another example, Tom. Yes, CMC is good. There's no doubt CMC is good. But this is another situation where CMC, his success is really predicated on a system.
I don't think so. Different system this year than last year in Carolina for sure.
Davis is doing great behind that O-line in that offense. Mike Davis is doing great. Mike Davis.
I mean, I wouldn't say. I mean, it's 16 for 84. He's doing good.
He's doing good.
He's doing good. He's definitely no McCaffrey. You can tell it in the receiving.
40 points a game. But what I'm saying is that
respectable offense. Yeah, it's a good system. I mean, so far I told you from the beginning, I like Joe Brady's system and I like what he brings to the table in Carolina. I mean, they played Arizona yesterday, but I don't think they're a good football team at all. They don't have a good defense and Bridgewater's not a great quarterback. He's average. So they're going to struggle a lot this year. But that was, they need a respectable running back, and they got it yesterday, and he produced. So I wouldn't count on it every week, especially with good teams. They're going to be behind, and they're going to probably abandon the run.
Yeah. Latavius Murray, 8, Alvin Kamara, 9, and Zeke Elliott. If you're a Zeke Elliott owner, you got to be upset here. 12 attempts. So they are throwing the ball a lot, but he's still managing to put up 20 points. But again, that's very touchdown dependent. But yeah, if you're a Zeke owner right now, 12 attempts is unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, he got 8 for 71 in the receiving game, and that saved him this week. Really saved him.
Yeah, it did.
I told you before, Mike McCartney's always in the bottom half, usually his whole career. He was there like 10, 12 years in Green Bay. I think he was almost every year he was in the bottom half of rushing attempts. He just doesn't like to run the ball.
No,
it's not his thing. And he may not have had a running back as good as Elliott, but that doesn't change you as a coach. He throws the ball. His offense is not the best for Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
So I never loved the hire over there. They're scoring points, but you're not winning ball games. But if they keep doing this, at least he'll get some catches.
Yeah, some honorable mentions here at the stud position. They had good games, not phenomenal games, but Kareem Hunt, like we talked about him already, 19.1 points. Ronald Jones, 18.8. Ronald Jones, 20 attempts, 111 yards, 5.6 yards per carry. Now, imagine if he had a touchdown, which he did not. He would have had a top 10 week, man. Ronald Jones, believe it or not.
Yeah, you had a couple guys like that. James Robinson, he can't really put the ball in the end, 17 for 75. You know what I mean? In Jacksonville, no, a touchdown for these guys, a few more carries brings them up. Devon Singletary had the touchdown, 18 for 55, and you see 18 points. So, and it's funny, that was their first rushing touchdown since week 9 of last year from a running back.
Yeah.
And it was him. I think it was week 9 last year was the last time a running back scored a rushing touchdown for Buffalo. So they give it to Allen. They QB sneak it. They give it to Allen to get in the end zone. Another bomb in Baltimore, Ingram, Dobbins, Gus Edwards, those are 3 sucks of the week every week.
Kenyon Drake sucked. This is a second round pick, 3.5 points. I told you, Kenyon Drake is not a good running back. Everyone said he was. It's just not. So he sucked. Who else? Joshua Kelly. I thought he would have done a little bit better with Eckler being out. 9 attempts, 7 yards.
Josh Jacobs struggled yesterday.
Jacobs, Nick Chubb got hurt. All these guys, Dale Henderson, he's got the nod to start. He crapped the bed. Who else you said?
Miles Sanders.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor as well. I mean, not good out of your workhorse running backs. It's not good, man. Not good at all.
Not good at all. I mean,
David Montgomery, he sucks. I don't care. Like I thought David Montgomery would do well with thing being out, Cohen, but he's not. Montgomery's just not good. He's the most anticlimactic running back I've ever seen. Like you're expecting this. Well, I'm expecting this big breakout, but yeah, I've tempered my expectations completely with Montgomery. 10 attempts, 27 yards, 2.7. He can't break out for a run if his life depended on it. He just can't.
I don't know what's going on. I mean, I think part of that's the play calling and the offense. They just look terrible. I watched a lot of the game yesterday. It was only a couple games on, obviously, and I don't know. He didn't look good yesterday, but he also, what do you have, 10 carries? I mean,
but that's the thing. They take him off. They put in Cordell Patterson. This is when is Cordell Patterson a running back?
Like I think they're putting him in. Well, he did that in New England, but I think they're putting Patterson in because they're looking for a breakaway. They're looking for a big play. They can't get big plays over there. The only time they get big plays is when, with less than a few minutes left, when Foles was throwing down the field and Robinson made a few nice catches. But like they weren't aggressive. Like they're not aggressive. They just look slow and they just don't look good.
Very, very boring offense there. And I thought that was a very boring game. I didn't enjoy that. And then again, the Colts, what are they doing, man? They're bringing in Naheem Hines and Wilkins. It's like no running back is going to get into a rhythm. You've got a workhorse of Jonathan Taylor. Utilize him, just utilize the guy. I mean, he's good. He's the best talent on the team. You're putting in Jordan Wilkins. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, Frank Reich, he's, he put in Trey Burton a lot yesterday too.
Yeah.
Force him the ball. I don't know what's going on. They got to talk though. It's a good game next week. The Colts are playing at the Browns and see what happens there. Cause I'll tell you what, you're talking about the Indianapolis Colts. Okay. They beat the Jets pretty bad, but they put up 19-11. They won yesterday. The Vikings, they beat pretty good, but let's see them. Huh?
They're squeaking by. There's something special.
But they got a really good, tough team. You're right. They should be running the ball a lot more. I would give it to Taylor a lot more.
And they're not using Hilton, or their wide receivers suck. Pascal's their wide receiver 1. I don't know what what's that?
Moali Cox.
Moali Cox. He's not even a receiving tight end. So they're comparing him to the Gronkowski. This is our version of Gronkowski in his prime. I'm like, no, he's not.
I don't know what's going on in Indianapolis. Listen, they're winning ball games, and I think they just have to piece it by week because Phillip Rivers isn't what he used to be.
No, he's not. And the way he throws looks so stupid.
Yeah, he doesn't look that good. He looks a lot worse than he did. But hey, they're winning. He makes some throws when he needs to make them, but he made a lot of bad throws. A few bad throws that I saw. He didn't hit the receiver.
Yeah, I don't know. Rivers is just a temporary Band-Aid that's not doing good. All right, let's go through the suck of the week, Tom. I'm really curious here. Hold on. All right, we got the music going. Suck of the week. All right, there's our music for suck of the week. All right, what do you want to start off with the quarterback position here, Tom?
You want to go to quarterbacks or hold on?
Yeah, I'll start off with the quarterback. I'm gonna award my suck of the week here at quarterback. And again, this is based on the Sheeps thinking that this guy is the man. He was gonna have this breakout season. Apparently, he was gonna be the quarterback of the year, possibly future MVP. Daniel Jones, 10.1 points. He's been doing nothing, and he is my suck of the week at the quarterback position.
Wow. Yeah, he's not good. He had a chance to win it at the end.
All right, there you go. Enough of that.
He had a chance to tie it at the end, and he threw that interception. So I wouldn't start him any weeks looking forward. I told you from before, I don't like that team. I don't think he's that good.
No, he's not.
Yeah, so, I mean, suck of the week for me, I'm going to go a little higher on the list than Deshaun Watson. He's just not doing it for me.
Yeah.
I feel like you're supposed to be an elite quarterback. I know that's I probably should pick somebody that's a little, hasn't put up as good numbers as that this week, but I expect more from him. I expect more.
Yeah, I mean, he had 20.9. I wouldn't say he's a suck of the week, though, Tom.
Yeah, but I mean, 20. Yeah, I know. Listen, I expect more. I expect run the ball. These other guys are using their legs. They're doing things, and I'm a big fan of running quarterbacks, but at least Kyla Murray, he's better than Kyla Murray. He's not putting up the points. He's not putting it in the end zone enough. He's just not doing it.
I agree.
He's disappointing.
He is.
I mean, expected 0-3. I expected a win this week, and that's why I thought he was going to put up some monster numbers.
All right, maybe you could do a reality. This is a reality suck of the week. Maybe I'll do the fantasy suck of the week. You do the reality suck of the week. Why don't we do that?
I just wanted more from him this week.
All right, let's go.
Go ahead.
running back suck of the week, and you know where I'm going with this one. I'm going to go with Kenyon Drake. I mean, 13 attempts, 35 yards, 2.7 yards per carry, and 3.5 fantasy points. A guy that was drafted in the second round. You can come at me with David Johnson all you want. I mean, he dropped the ball at the end of the game. In reality, he sucked. I mean, but he still put up 11.2 points. That's what? 4 times as many points as Kenyon Drake, and he was drafted in the round 3 to 4, not round 1 and 2. So, yeah, I got to give the suck of the week, to Kenyon Drake. Who do you got?
I mean, I have a couple choices here, but I'm going with Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
He just played terrible.
He did.
Terrible. And they were in the game. They had a chance at the end. If he could have ran to half his potential, I think it would have been a different ball game because they don't have the receivers. They had some injuries. So he really disappointed me. That was a really bad game from him.
Yeah. I don't blame you, man. 10.3 points, just couldn't get it done. Again, they were taking him off the field quite a bit. I think they had is Devante Booker? Because I saw Devante Booker on a couple plays. I'm like, are you kidding me right now?
I'm not sure. I was just disappointed in the way he played. That's not him, and that was just bad.
But they brought in Devante Booker. He didn't get any attempts, but he was on the field. I'm like, why is he on the field? And then they gave Jalen Richard 6 rushing attempts. I mean, I don't know what they're thinking. I think Theo Riddick got the ball too.
Yeah, they had some issues over there. They don't have any weapons. I mean, I know Ruggs is a rookie over there, but they need speed. They're down 3 receivers this year so far. One for the season in Williams, but they just don't have, I don't know. It sucks too, because I think they would have been a playoff team. They still play feisty, but
they're going to smash that ball, man. They got to smash it. So I agree, man. I'm not going to argue that. All right, wide receiver here. Who is your suck of the week at wide receiver? I mean, like I said, wide receivers did their job. Let's go. I'm going to go with what you said, DJ Moore. This was a guy that drafted around 3 to 4, very high expectations, 6 attempts, 4 receptions, and 8.9 points. This is a guy that people drafted as their wide receiver 1. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it was very bad. He's not playing well.
No.
And part of it could be Bridgewater, but I don't think I expected more from him this year myself.
Yeah.
I know you did. I'm not going to go with AJ Green because I think that's a given every week, and I don't think there's any more expectations from him.
Right.
I don't think so. I'm going to go Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. He's not getting it done.
Guess how many points he had?
I don't know. I didn't look.
0.
Really? Cooks had 0 points?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be, and that's a guy I thought would have had a good year. I'm not gonna lie, I thought he would have had a good year. He is technically the wide receiver.
Better than 0. Better than 0, right?
3 targets. Yeah. I mean, how do you start that guy anymore? You can't start that guy.
Goes to my first suck of the week in Watson. Get your best receiver involved in the ball game.
I know.
It doesn't make sense what they're doing over there. That goes back to the coaching as a suck of the week there too. The GM. But no, he shouldn't have 0 points.
No, 3 targets to your number 1 receiver. And you can argue that Fuller's the guy, but Fuller's never been staying on the field. And he had that good catch at the end, near the end of the game. And he came down with it, but he hit the ground. It didn't count as a touchdown. Could have kept him in it. But I mean, you guys are scrambling near the end of the game to make things happen. They're looking like the what do you call it? The Falcons. They always do that. What's that?
He's comfortable with Fuller. Fuller's also a bigger receiver, and he's had him there since he was a rookie. So I think he's like, when he's in trouble, he likes to throw it to Fuller, the bigger target sometimes. Maybe he doesn't have the rapport with Cooks yet. There was no preseason or anything. And I heard that, that probably hurts him.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the Falcons throughout the years with Matt Ryan, I know he doesn't put up a lot of fantasy points in the first couple of quarters, but in the second half, Matt Ryan starts tearing it up. This year, it's been a little bit different with the Falcons. They're putting up a lot of points early on and then crap in the bed. But either way, man, it's just disappointing with some of these stars. So we got to go to tight end here. I mean, it's pretty straightforward tight end. And, with the suck of the week, I don't have high expectations with tight ends anyway, but I got to probably go. I'm debating here whether I should go. I'm going to go Higbee, man. 5.1 points coming out. Oh, no, I'm going to go Gesicki. Gesicki did not have a good game. 41st amongst tight ends, 2.5 points. I'm going to go Gesicki because people have expectations out of him coming off some big weeks. So Gesicki's the guy.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I'll take the other one, Higbee, then, because I think it's a coin toss.
Yeah.
You had guys with some targets. They all have 3, 4 targets, stuff like that. So not a lot of targets with the tight ends. Trey Burton had 5, but I agree with you. I'll go there. I mean, I have to go there too.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you have it, guys. Studs and sucks week 4. We still have 2 games, like I said, tonight. I'm telling you, Tom, it's been madness, a lot of frustration. I got to go hit the bag. I'm going to get a workout and let my frustrations out because, again, I'm seeing a lot of good talent. Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, David Johnson, Cooks, just not getting the ball. They're just not. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, I don't know. I think tonight's going to be a fun night.
Yeah, good games.
I think so. Patriots, Chiefs, what's going to happen? No Cam Newton?
Right.
I really should. I'm not the coach, but I wanted to see Stidham. I'm still disappointed.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the starter.
If Stidham was playing, I'd be more inclined to, would be more excited to watch it. But now I'm like disappointed. I mean, Hoyer, what are you going to get with Hoyer? But who knows? Belichick runs a good system there. Can Hoyer really come in and keep him in the game?
Maybe.
Why is he going with Hoyer?
I don't know, man. It's going to be a good set of Monday Night Football games, but I think they're going with old and reliable over young and uncertain, right? They want to, I don't know.
It's funny because it's such a different game plan than Cam Newton. Cam Newton, obviously, they were going to run that the running the ball. Hoyer, even Stidham, they're not running anything there.
No, not at all.
Crazy how he's not starting Stidham.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see. I don't know. I'm interested to see, I guess, when that game starts at 7:05 Eastern time, I believe.
Yeah, they're early, and then you have a later one. Is it 7:05 or 7:50? Yeah, I think it's 7:05, I think.
Well, who do you have? You have the Patriots at 7:00. I'll check right now. 7:05, I think it is. 7:05, and then you have the Falcons at 8:50. So you're they're gonna overlap.
Right.
Because the Patriots Chiefs I think they were CBS games, so they're not going to be on like ESPN tonight. So you're going to have these games overlap, which is cool.
Slight overlap. Yeah.
It would have been better if they almost played them at the same. I guess you could watch the end of the one game and the other, but it would have been nice if they both. I think they moved the Falcons Packers back to 8:50. Is that the normal time?
They did, yeah. And I like the overlap. I like a slight little overlap there. It's not bad.
You go tonight with the point. What are we looking at? 11 points.
Yeah.
And the Falcons are 7. They're getting 7.
Falcons got to win. They got to win. I would take the spread on the Falcons here, and I would say the Chiefs, who knows with that game? They should easily cover 11 points with the uncertainty of a quarterback, right? But again, New England defense is good.
Yeah, I think, they probably win by a touchdown.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, Tom. Thank you, man, for covering for Tim. Starts and sucks studs and sucks for week 4. There you have it, guys. Enjoy the Monday Night Football games tonight. We got the Patriots versus the Chiefs, Falcons versus Packers. It's going to be a good night, Tom. Thank you as per usual, guys. And we are out. We'll talk soon. Thanks for coming on, Tom. We appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks.